Wahoots, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Sam with Vertical Expressions coming at you with another episode of Not Another Christian Podcast. I believe this is episode 5. So proud of this accomplishment. Again, could not have done it without you guys. I could have, but it wouldn't have been any fun. It would have been quite boring, to be honest. Be honest with you. Sitting here in front of a camera, in front of a microphone, talking about things that is not interesting to anyone, doesn't seem very worth it for me. But we're here. Hopefully the audio is coming out better than last week. I took time. I prepped because this episode is a very truly special episode. It's my first kind of like special edition, so to speak, because this podcast is for all my lovebirds, single, not single. It's complicated. Whatever title you subscribe with, just know that this is for you, and that's why the name of this podcast, name of this episode is Fake Christian Dating. And again, I say Christian because it is not another Christian podcast, but the ties between Christian dating, secular dating are a lot closer than a lot of Christians want to give credit for. It's a lot of stuff happening up in the church that people don't want to be honest about. And I'm going to be calling you guys, and by you guys, I mean my ladies, my gents, my kings, and my queens. I'm going to be calling you out on it because there's a lot of fake Christian dating going on. Let me start off with this. We all know Valentine's Day is around the corner, right? And that's why I'm making this episode. It's a special Valentine's Day edition. Valentine's Day is around the corner. And I've been married for 3 years now. And I found myself kind of missing the days of old, where you saved up a couple dollars and you went out with your lady. You watched the movie 42nd Street, Times Square, AMC. You splurged on the popcorn, on the drink. You probably went to Dallas BBQs and you had yourself an authentic New York City teenage, I'm trying to impress you, Valentine's Day date. Those were the days. And they were they were really cool. I started going to church when I was 21, and Valentine's Day was never the same, because I felt like everything I did before was improper, incorrect, sinful. And it wasn't, but I felt that way because I'm trying to change my life around. I felt that way. And so I tried to change the way I did Valentine's Day. But not just Valentine's Day, I tried to change the way I did dating and relating with the opposite sex. Now, if you're 18 years or under, you're listening to this podcast, you're going to need some parental consent for this, because we're going to be talking about sex here. We're going to be talking about everything on that side of the ball today. We got all the time in the world. Like, it's daytime right now, so we good. We got time. I started going to church, changed the way I did Valentine's Day, changed the way I did dating, changed the way I related with the opposite sex. And in conclusion, I sort of started, I don't want to say I put women on a pedestal, but I think I put myself in a position of fail, because I made women the enemy to some degree. Women or the female characters in my life, they sort of became a enemy of mine. No reason at all other than the fact that they are now a threat to me because I'm trying to be holy. I ain't trying to sin. I'm not trying to do nothing with you. I'm not interested. Little did I know, or little did I care, to be honest. I felt that way, like this is what I wanted. But at the end of the day, all that happened was that I was just lying to myself. And it's come to my attention that it wasn't just me. It's a lot of folk out there who are trying to do Christian dating, and you're just lying about the way you're going about dating. You know, you're trying to be holy with it and your intentions are good, but at the end of the day, you're really coming up short, and we're ending up with this fake mess. Should a Christian date a secular individual? Should a secular individual date a Christian? Me personally, I stayed away from secular females. Not that I didn't have secular female friends, I did. And oddly enough, it was a secular female friends that were actually more respectful of me as an individual, not trying to cross certain boundaries, than the Christian women. Oh snap, I know, sounds bad, but it's the truth, and I'm not gonna get in front of this camera and lie to you. You know, I thought for the longest, I want to be with someone who shares my passion for Christ, you know. But you start dating in the Christian community and you find out real quick that not everybody who's showing up to church on Sundays, active in ministry, a lot of people look like they play the part. They look like it. But you get to know them a little bit and you're like, whoa, you're a different person outside of these walls, right? You're a different person when nobody's watching. And that made me realize you could go to church looking for a good girl. You could go to church looking for a good man and wind up with the devil. It's true. I've seen it. You know, I've experienced it firsthand, with my own eyes. I've seen it. It happens. You know, just because someone's going to church, it doesn't mean that they really have that intention that I'm trying to be the best that I can be for the Lord intention. And some people, it's really too hard for them to be in any sort of relationship without crossing boundaries, because that's all they know. That's all they know. So I've actually opened up to the idea that you can very well go into the secular world, find someone who doesn't believe in Christ, not believers, not Christians, but were raised right. They have good hearts, good minds. They know better, you know, and be more faithful and true, more honest, more straightforward, more respectful than someone you meet in church. I'm calling this fake Christian dating because the first slide we're gonna tear down is that you go to church and a church man or a church woman equals a good man or a good woman. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry, gents. This is just not true. People have tendencies. People have habits. People have their ways of being. And just because you start going to church doesn't change that. You know, a lot of folk are getting into these relationships, and I guess I'll speak to my Christians now. A lot of Christians are getting into relationships, and there's just nothing God honoring about the stuff that you're doing, right? Let's be honest. You are cutting a lot of corners. You're allowing yourself to be cool with certain things that shouldn't be happening. And you call it Christian because on the outside it looks good, right? Oh, look at that young couple on fire for God. And you might be. And it might even hurt you every time something inappropriate happens, but it's still happening. And there are parts of you that you sacrifice along that way. It has nothing to do with anything spiritual, but I've noticed that the most important thing that you lose during these exchanges is self-respect. And once you stop respecting yourself, it's actually really hard for you to start again. Because then you start going through the drought, you get into the tough season, and all you can think about is, well, I'm a failure. Well, I'm a fake. And it's just ammunition for the devil to attack you. And so it's really costing you a lot of you, right? You're sacrificing bits and pieces of you. And at some point you just got to sit down and wonder, like, is this really worth it? Is this relationship really worth it? And I think that if you want to be with someone, don't try to pretend like you're single. Why? You obviously want to be in a relationship. You want to have sex. You want to do sexy things. Understand that you can do that. If you do it out of its time, you're just going to lose essential parts of you. It might hold you back from ever reaching your potential. But at the same time, don't be a liar and pretend like, I'm a holy man. I don't need this. I don't need that. Meanwhile, you know what you're doing. You know what you're struggling with. Be honest. And this leads me up to fake Christian dating line number 2, which is a lot of the times and I don't know about women because I'm not a woman, and I know women can relate with what I'm saying off of the conversations that I've had with other Christian women. I know it's not just men, but a lot of the times we wait around for the one. And we're not waiting around for, that's not true. You're either waiting around for the one while having the time of your life with everyone else in the meantime, right? Doing you, having your fun. You don't really want commitment. You're afraid of commitment. You don't want to settle down, but you're waiting for the one. Or you honestly believe and are waiting for God to do something supernatural in where you end up with the one. Both of these I have a problem with. I feel like there's a sort of dishonesty to both. If you're waiting for the one and meanwhile having your fun with everyone else, well, you're just a liar and there are consequences to your actions. But if you're waiting on God to tell you to be with someone, I am here to tell you that I don't trust it. There are people who are told to do things on behalf of God. They do them, and then what happens? They begin to resent God because they don't want to do it anymore. I've noticed that the people who are truly successful at the things that they consider to be their calling are the people who genuinely wanted to do those things. There are people who are told, you got to be a pastor. And so they open up a church, turn pastors, realize it's work, grow miserable, resent God for it, and do a crappy job, and it all blows up. And there are people who are pastors at heart and love the act of pastoring and end up in pastor positions because they really wanted it and they enjoy it, and it's tough and it beats them up and it's rough, but they enjoy what they do. If God tells you you're to live with this person for the rest of your life, and for the rest of your life, you're not going to do much more than love them unconditionally, forgiving every sin as I have forgiven you, loving them as I have loved you, I guarantee you're not going to make it very far. Even the most Christian heart, you know how I know? Well, let's look at Jesus, the most Christian heart, right? Came to serve humanity. And even at that point, like, Jesus didn't crack, but he even got to the point where he's like, God, if it's possible, pass this cup from me. Pass this cup from me. Was when he's being betrayed. He's about to be taken. He's about to face the cross. He's like, if it's possible, I don't really want to go through this. But at the end of the day, let your will be done. But he was sweating blood and he was praying and interceding. Do you really want to be caught up in a relationship for the rest of your life where every day you're praying to God, please pass this cup from me. Please let my significant other just pass away and die. Please deliver me. Please open the door for a divorce. That's no way to live. That's a heavy burden to carry. Don't wait around for God to tell you to love someone. Because if you choose to love someone because God told you so, there's going to be the day where you're going to tell yourself, I just really don't want to do this anymore. And you might get away with it, right? You might go a year, 2 years, every morning, waking up, asking God for the grace to love your significant other, but completely miserable deep down, knowing that you do not want to do this. I don't think anyone aspires to be married and have a marriage under these conditions. So stop the fake Christian dating. Stop it. Stop waiting on God to tell you to love someone. Find someone you genuinely like, someone you genuinely enjoy conversation with, enjoy spending your time with, and spend your time having fun with the person that you honestly like. And you might be like, well, how do I know it's God's purpose? You don't. But even if you did, would you do it? Even if God told you so. If you don't want to do it, you won't do it. You just get into the point, well, God, man, I tried. God, I ain't perfect. God, I tried, man. It's my time. I'm out. I did. I gave the most of me. I quit. You're not perfect and you're not going to be perfect. So don't expect that. Don't expect God to tell you to do something so you end up, resenting him for it. I'll say it again. Said it once, I'll say it again. God is not interested in living your life for you. God is more interested in living your life with you. Relationship. You are not a slave. You are not here for God to tell you do this and you do it. If you say, God, I am available for whatever you might need, and God says, well, this is a hole you can fill, and he guides you to a necessity, you're helping because you want to, because you made yourself available, not because God is dragging you along and making you. And that makes all the difference in any relationship. Any relationship where you're giving because you want to, not giving because you're required to. Listen, the people who go to work because they want to, they love what they do. The people who go to work because they have to pay the bills, it's a whole different story. You don't want that in a relationship. So stop waiting around for God to give it to you. Point number 3. Before you decide to get all cute and find somebody to mac it on for Valentine's Day, just a couple days away. Point number 3. Lower your standards. Lower your standards. There are a lot of you out there who think that you are worth the world. And that's exactly why you're single, right? Not me, because I learned this very early on in my young adult life. Social media is for the birds. Social media is toxic. Social media is not where you should be spending a majority of your free time. You might be like, oh, well, I only spend 2 to 3 hours a day on social media. Yeah, but you only had 2 to 3 hours of free time. You slept for the other 8, you worked for the other 8, you ate for the other 2, and you were on social media for the other 3, right? That's all that you're getting from life is social media. And so we're living in a generation where they sell you perfect images, perfect men, perfect women, perfect lifestyle, the things you don't have, everybody else has. And so you naturally begin to think that success looks like what you see. No. Even if it was, do you really think you're in a position to get that? Fellas, ladies, come on. There's a meme out there about women where it's like, oh, my man needs to have a 6-pack, look like The Rock and all this. But you can't even fast for 24 hours or practice any dietary discipline. That would never work out. Think about it. If this person spends themselves on making sure that they're physically fit, they don't eat as much junk food as you. What you eat matters. Eating differences in relationships can cause friction, right? Because the people who wake up to go to the gym and they put in this work and this work and this work, they look at you and they're like, don't you have any discipline? You're up at 1 a.m. ordering Chinese. If they're not down for that, you're going to be ordering Chinese by yourself, because right now they're operating at another frequency. You don't think it matters, but it does. It does for a lot of people. A lot of marriages get in trouble because you really are 2 individuals. And it's very easy to start walking in opposite directions, right? Well, I want to take better care of myself physically, and you don't. And it's fine. But you don't really respect my boundaries in terms of what I want to eat. So that turns into an argument, because it's like, bro, you putting this stuff around me. You're putting me in a position that's anti my goal. Mostly you see people support each other through these decisions. I want to lose weight. I'll support you. I'll abstain with you, and you move forward together. I have my sister, my brother-in-law, beautiful example. My sister, God bless her soul, pregnant, expecting a baby. Her husband sees that she can't live the same way anymore, right? So he tailors his life and what he will do and wouldn't do to help her get through this season. Well, you can't eat this, I won't eat it too. We're in this together. You stay strong together when you do things together, right? You find like-minded people, equally yoked people. And a lot of Christians think that's just a Christian thing where, oh, equally yoked because we believe in the same Jesus. No, that's like, You could both believe in Jesus and be two very different types of Christians. Two very different type of Christians, and butt heads and end up resenting one another, right? Because you're walking in different directions. But you expect perfection. I want the one. I want perfection. I want what I want, but you're not in a position to even be successful if you had what you wanted. Because it wouldn't work. Lower your standards to you. If you can, find like the opposite sex equivalent of what you are. Then look around at the single people you know and get to know the type you can be compatible with. And it doesn't sound sexy, it doesn't sound very Christian, but this is honesty and truth coming to you from someone who was led astray about what Christian dating should be, who was put in positions to respond in the wrong way because I didn't know any better. Learn from my mistakes, y'all. Those little things matter. Truly, like I said before, you find yourself in a position where you're hanging out with someone, you have a good time. You go out to eat, you have a good time, you're just friends. But you realize that you're so compatible and comfortable because even as friends, you're walking through life in the same direction. That's a plus. Consider that before, and she might, and I say she because I'm a guy, he might not look like your type. That's not what I want. I know what I want. I saw the pictures, Instagram told me what I want. I have this, stop. It may not be what you want, but it allows you the opportunity for success and true and honest relationship. People, lower your standards. Trying to find a Valentine's Day date, lower your standards. You're not that special, right? And I mean that even to the most conceited of people, you're really not. You have your quirks that are extremely annoying too. So just dumb it down, lower your standards. Look around, see the potential. See who you like, who you honestly like. Find a good and honest heart. Honesty is a hard trait to find. It's very hard to corrupt honesty long term. Honesty doesn't mean perfect, but honesty always leaves the opportunity for growth. You can't fix something you don't know about, and you will never know the truth about something you're lying about. You will never get the opportunity to improve on something that you continue to deny is broken in the first place, right? Find an honest heart, a true heart. Value that. And, see where things go. Throw your hat in the ring, fella. Rumble, young man, rumble. Now, for those of you who are already in relationships, for those of you who are not only in relationships, maybe married, maybe it's complicated, maybe you are not in a relationship, but you really are, this is for you. It's come to my attention that this current generation, they don't really push healthy relationships anymore. They push healthy sex lives. He just said sex on a Christian podcast. Well, yes, I did. I'm gonna say it again too. Sex. Oh man, I hope I don't get in trouble for this. Check this out. You're a teenager. If you have kids, then you know. If you're a teenager, then you know. You go to middle school right now. I think it's even happening in middle school, high school. No one's interested in teaching you how to have a healthy relationship. This world is interested in teaching you how to have a healthy sex life, right? It'll teach you how to practice healthy sex. Well, don't do this, use protection, or these are your options, ask these questions. It'll teach you how to have healthy sex. But no one's teaching a class about healthy relationships. No one's taking the time to sit someone down and say, yeah, you should be honest. No, it's not all about you. Hey, there's more to life than having it your way. No one's taking the time to practice healthy relationships. This conversation's just not coming up. The beautiful thing is that having a healthy, what's the word I hear? Platonic relationship and having a healthy sexual relationship with someone actually go very hand in hand. Very hand in hand. If you learn how to respect your friends, you learn how to respect your significant others, you learn how to respect your parents, you learn how to respect authority, you learn how to respect your peers, you learn how to respect your significant other. Learning how to have a healthy relationship is a vital life tool, essential for life success. And I started learning how to have healthy relationships maybe at the age of 26. Sad. But even at 26, it was very suspect. It was my relationships with my friends who God has blessed me with such an amazing group of individuals, so patient and understanding with me that allowed me to see that how I was going about my marriage was all wrong. How is it that my friend, my homeboy, can love me more, respect me more than I love and respect my wife? How can he forgive me, try to work it out with me, get into an argument with me, and right after say, hey, you know what? I was out of line. How can we, I'm sorry. Look, it doesn't matter what we're fighting about. I still care about you. How can someone approach me that way? But I'm so petty with my significant other, right? And so I started to notice, man, I'm way out of line. Not only am I just a bad friend, but my lack of understanding what a healthy relationship looks like is keeping me from being a good husband. And so it begins. How can I make my relationships better? Not just my significant other, that relationship, but all my friendships. The way I approach my coworkers. How can I give this respect that as human beings they deserve? No one in school, teachers, maybe you get lucky. This world is not set on teaching you these values, teaching you these principles. If anything, during high school, I think you learn you get into the habit of abusing relationships, and college too, abusing relationships. You graduate, you start working, you're a young adult in your 20s, early 30s. Tinder, you think about the way this generation relates sexually. It's just practice of abusive relationships. I call you, I'll ghost you. I won't call you if I don't want to. I'll take what I want and I'm out. It's lack of human respect. It's lack of healthy relationships. And so we see that in the Christian dating community. Not because people are bad, but because people don't know any better. People don't know how to value a healthy relationship because they've never seen a healthy relationship. It's there. It's a thing. And so trying to get that Valentine's Day date. You trying to show up. It's COVID season, so good luck trying to, do it up. Be careful. Matter of fact, you going on a date. If y'all ain't together already, you better show up with a negative test, something. And we need proof. We need proof. I need something. I gotta see. Like, is this safe? I'm not encouraging any boundary breaking. 6 feet at all times. Trying to cover my bases before I get the Karens up in the chat. Before you go ahead and you put yourself out there again with someone new, or maybe right now you messed up what you had and there's value in that relationship, and the things that you guys have done has put you in a place where you're not sure. You've broken, you've fractured trust, you've done things together that maybe you shouldn't, because you really are trying to honor God. Maybe it's that approach of, how can I be in a healthy relationship with you? And a healthy relationship, even with a significant other, it means being a friend. It means knowing what it's like to be a friend to someone. And yeah, you could have the nasty too. You could have the sexy time. But you also got to know how to be a friend. You got to know how to let someone know that you care. You got to learn how to prioritize and know what's really important. You made your mistakes and you guys messed up. It's always a two-way street. Always takes two. It's your fault too. Now you're going to let that fall apart. You're going to let that fall to the wayside. And sometimes you have to get away from a nasty, negative situation. Sometimes you do. Sometimes, like I said, the good heart might not be there. The honest heart, the desire to change, the desire for more, something better may not be there. Even if God said that's the one, pay attention. Pay attention to the things in front of you. Like, it's not all spiritual. An honest heart and a sincere heart when you see one. You recognize it. And you may not know what to call it, but just the fact that it's different from what helps you to know that you're moving in the right direction. It's not enough to practice a healthy sex life. We need healthy relationship lives. And it's not to say go to your significant other and be better. No, it's go to every relationship that you have. Don't take them for granted. And be the best that you can for them. And it doesn't mean that you'll be perfect, but it means that you'll be honest about your mistakes and your shortcomings. And about how blessed you are to still have them. Giving appreciation, letting people know how much you care. It's not really about what you say, it's how you say it. Those little things matter, I think you guys get the point. Whew. Not another Christian podcast. I like this one. It needed to be said. Valentine's Day is coming. It's a money grab made up holiday. I don't even know if it's a holiday, but something that we practice. I get it. You know what? But I'm a 90s baby. I grew up having fun on and looking forward to Valentine's Day. For me, it's just an opportunity to get cute, throw on the fresh J's, like Make it happen. So guys, make it happen. I gave you guys a lot of gold today. Make it happen. And if you disagree, let me know what you're thinking. Feel free to comment and share whatever you want in that comment section. And on top of that, I'm going to always be sharing the things that I feel like God has taken me towards that week. But feel free to, you want to talk about something, you want to hear my thoughts on something, go ahead, share in the comment section. I'll make a note of it and try to respond. It's us, guys. It's me and you. A VE team all day, but you already know. It's your boy, Sam with Vertical Expressions. Thank you for joining me once again. Not Another Christian Podcast. I'll catch you guys on the flip. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. Peace.